Hi, I'm going to look into a Volkswagen Vento automatic petrol Highline trim, which has got a 1.6 engine, which has been in my family from 2012. This is the highest end trim which comes from Volkswagen Petrol Automatic. It comes for around a price of 11,45,000 Indian rupees, fully loaded vehicle, but not like the models in 2014 or 15. Since the 2012 model, this comes with a normal CD player and not fully automated mirrors. So except those two LCD screen and mirrors, it's got all the new model specifications which has come out after 2014 and 15. So let's go and have a look.
Let's go and have a look at the 2012 Volkswagen Vento. As you can see, this comes with 15-inch alloys. The Highline trim instead of the 14-inch alloys is the normal trim comes with. Body colored door handles, clearly looks fine with the color. Automatic mirrors, but not fully automated, like the mirror will come out on its own. The boot looks chiseled, but not like the new model. It doesn't have LED lamps. And the remote comes with a boot opener. As you can see, you press it on and the boot's open. Quite a bit of boot space for a sedan, not too huge, but good enough. One suitcase does fall in very easily, and you can fill smaller ones like one big and two smaller suitcases pretty easily. Let's carry the back door. The doors are very sturdy, and when you close it, it goes into the closure mode with a big thumb. You can feel the German build quality. Solid even after 5 years. It has the power window, a slider mechanism, the back door, and a good space for a bottle of water. This car comes with beige color interiors, and this is one issue I have in the back seat. There was a slight hump up there in the middle partition, and for 3 people to sit in, it's not going to be that easy if you are quite big. So only good for 2 people sitting in. These interiors are difficult to maintain because it's beige. Now let's look at how wide the back seats are. I'm just fitting myself in to check whether a person like me, 5'8" inches, quite broad shoulders, 44 on chest size and shirt size, can fit in properly. As you can see, I cover almost like around half of the seat. So for 3 people sitting in my size, it's going to be quite difficult. That's my sun saver. See, my shoulders and the seat is extremely difficult for people like me, 3 people like me to sit in. So with the partition in the middle, so 2 adults and a kid would be fine, but even in the kid's going to have issues. So the best thing would be 2 adults in the back seat. Let's go to the front door. As you can see, it controls the power window controls, and the door locking controls, the power mirror controls, and that's a boot opener. You can do it with your remote and with that key in the front door. It comes with a normal CD player. It's 2012 model. It didn't have a LCD screen. Sad that 2012 they could have, but they didn't. And AC vents, and the front door, the speakers as well, like the back door, and good glove box. Lots of things will fit in. AC vents are really powerful to keep this car very cool almost all the time. Let's go look at the dials and the speed. Yeah, the AC is automated climate control AC. See, when the dials would dial up when you switch on the lights, and it's pretty nice to actually have a view. Now I'll show you the steering does tilt up and down. Very good. The angle stretch is pretty flexible. So unlike many other cars, the steering does tilt from top to bottom in a very stretchful manner. Quite powerful lights, quite powerful. You can switch on one and off another one. Doesn't come with a vanity mirror. Yeah, the passenger one does have one. Just show you the seat height mechanism. This car comes with a driver's seat height mechanism, and it's really good sometimes because you can adjust the size, because each person will be of different heights, and it is obviously very helpful. I'm just going to try it. Just my camera angles keep on rolling. I'm going a bit more higher. I'm reaching a good height now. Backside view from the front, driver's position. Okay, just getting out. Let's go and have a look at the engine. This is a 1.6 trim. Should be very powerful for the Volkswagen standards. It does in the city, but in the highways, and as I would mention, it just goes up to 120 in a good cruising manner. And if you have 4 people sitting in, it's not going to move much more. So for 1.6 engine, good engine, but I'm not very happy with the total power output and the top end speed. Very reliable for the last 5 years. Very reliable for the last 5 years. And the car has been kept intact by my father-in-law. He's kept it in the best way it's possible. Now that's it. That's what I wanted to show you guys, almost bits and parts of the car. I'm taking the key off. Okay, thank you Vento for serving our family for the last 12 years. It's been really good. Thank you, bye-bye.
Hi, after going through a bit details of the car, now let me conclude this short review by expressing what I have found positive about this car and what are the slight cons in this car. In the beginning, I will start with cons. The main disadvantage I feel about this car is it's got a 1.6 engine which is supposed to be very quick. Unfortunately, this car is not as quick for a 1.6 engine like 1.6 Polo GT. It's not as quick as the Polo GT, or it doesn't have even the 1.6 engines pulling power. In the city, absolutely fine. It can actually overtake, and the gearbox does perform if you just give it a bit more of your feet in the accelerator. But the main issue is when you go on a highway, what I found is it cruises very well on a top speed of around 100-120 with 4 or 5 people on the side of the car. After that, it struggles to just get beyond 120, and it's something which is not been very good, since I always thought for 1.6 engine, and since all other Volkswagen engines really just go beyond 140, 116 on the highways, but this car really lacks a bit. So for a 1.6 engine Highline trim, the vehicle's top speed in the highway is not good enough for me, and maybe I don't know whether any other vehicle has got a better top speed or cruising speed, but this one is very limited to 100, 120, and after that it really does struggle. So that is a major con. Second is the fuel economy. The fuel economy is really around 5 to 8 kilometers in the city and maximum 10 kilometers in the highway. So this is a thirsty car which drinks a lot of petrol. So only people who can be flexible with such a lot small economy can be happy with this car. The third issue is there is slight body roll when you are a backseat passenger when you go over twisty roads, and it can get a bit awkward if you're continuing in a twisty road for more than 50 to 60 kilometers. So that's one thing which I thought would never happen with the Volkswagen, but since this is not having an independent suspension on the backside like a Skoda Laura, it does have issues sometimes. And coming to the back seat and body roll, 3 people can't be fitting in very easily if there are a bit more wider frames. So only 2 adult passengers and possibly a child can fit in. So that's another thing which comes with the back seat, limitations of the back seat. And now let me come to the positives. The main positive is the suspension. It's got a great suspension for Indian roads. This can go over potholes, bad roads, like slicing the cake. A really good suspension. So that's a big added advantage. Second, security. This car feels very secure. It's got really good build quality, nice weight, and when you're driving this car or sitting in this car, you really feel safe. So that's something, as you very well know, German manufacturers are known for, and this car doesn't disappoint on that. Very safe and secure car. And third, and one of the most important facts this car has is it has got a better automatic gearbox than many of its competitors or competitive sedans. Since this gearbox is slick, it's the gear changes are really like merging into without any jerks, and you don't really feel it's like a because most of the Indian cars, automatic cars, does make you feel a bit jitter when the gear changes. The slight slutters in and out, but this car has got a great gearbox. And only issue I found was sports mode, and the normal mode doesn't make a lot of difference. Sports mode does drink lots of fuel, but doesn't make a lot of difference. But other than that, a great gearbox. So all in all, these are the positives I found. So people who are looking for a secure, safe car and great suspension can opt for this one. And people looking for top end speed or a bit more adventurous or in a bit more sporty nature please avoid this car because it's not going to be good enough for you. So hope you like my short review. Thank you.